Hey, welcome to day 154 of reading the entire Bible this year. Today we are on Proverbs 1 through 3. Now, the book of Proverbs reads a little different than some of the other ones, but it's in the same vein as Psalms as far as being considered wisdom literature. In the Hebrew Bible, several other books of the Old Testament were qualified as wisdom literature, including Job, but the Proverbs in particular land in sort of a unique spot as far as how they're arranged and why. They read like traditional ancient Eastern wisdom literature. They're generally a collection of sayings that are truisms. They're true things that point back to faith in Yahweh as the core and foundation of all wisdom and all goodness, that living a wise life according to the instruction given in this book leads to prosperity, leads to good things. And at the same time, not every single line is to be taken as absolute law or rule on how things work every time. You cannot guarantee the results that you see here in the immediate, although the ultimate arc of follow the ways of the Lord and find blessing is an eternal promise in trusting in God for salvation and finding yourself in eternity with Him forever. That said, let's dig into this just a little bit. So Proverbs 1 attributes these to Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Later on in the book, several of the other Proverbs are attributed to multiple authors, and it's possible that these sayings were things that were attributed to Solomon, but gathered over the years and always pointed back to his wisdom, and then eventually were written down. But all indications show that this was probably written down a couple hundred years after Solomon lived. But it does start off with this kind of vision statement for what the Proverbs are: to know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear and increase their learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. To understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. And so it says these proverbs are to give you wisdom so that you will be informed, whether you are a child or just somebody who in general lives in this world. And we all need wisdom. And the true source of wisdom, the thing that's going to be the best foundation for any of this, is understanding the fear of the Lord and being in a reverent place between you and God, looking up at the holy, awesome, and terrifying God who created everything, who can destroy both body and soul and hell, all of that, like the God who made everything and who knows everything about you. He is to be feared, respected, revered, worshiped, and given honor to. And from that place, if we take that posture, then these proverbs can speak goodness into our lives. But all of this will fall on deaf ears if we will not start with fear of the Lord. As we go through, this gives a basic overview in these first couple of chapters of the point of wisdom, the value of wisdom, and then there's a call to trust in the Lord with all your heart. And this, I know, is a favorite verse for many people, but in Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. That is a truism of, again, understanding that as we trust in the Lord, all these things will be, He will make your ways straight. He will bless you. He will make everything, every path straight before you. And at the same time, that's not a guarantee that everything's just easy because you're trusting in the Lord. Instead, that's a general promise that if you pursue good, righteous, straight paths in your life, the way to do that is to start with trusting in the Lord and not in yourself. And so with that said, and all of these laid before us, let's dig in and just receive this wise instruction, this general direction of pointing us back towards seeking Yahweh, God Almighty, Him first for everything, including and especially all wisdom, stemming from an understanding of who God is and who we are and what He has done for us, and that by His grace and His grace alone, by the sacrifice of Christ, we have life instead of the death that we so deserve. And if we can take that humble posture, then Proverbs has so much wonderful life to bring out in us, and so many ways to improve and guide our lives. I can't wait to hear what this has spoken to you as you read it. So pray through it, read through it. Let's talk about questions, comments, and any insights that you have in the comments or on the Bible app. Thanks for reading with us. Be rad for Jesus.